It's the afternoon of July 24 and I am building cages for the piers that we drilled earlier this week. Piers are effectively holes that are going to be filled with concrete and reinforcement steel. In front of you there are currently 4 cages that are built. At the very bottom there are 3-inch dobies. Those keep the steel off of the floor of the hole. Steel doesn't do well when it is continually submerged in water or a wet surface. If you embed it in concrete, you don't have that problem. So let's see, how did I start this morning? I started by making stirrups. Those are the little boxes that we see right here. And these are about 8 inches by 8 inches on the outside. I created a little formula for how to create them with a friend of mine's metal bender. And this metal bender is incredibly strong. I'm not going to put a piece of metal in. Well, maybe I can. Let's give it a quick try. I have already scribed a line that I want to bend the first 9 inches of. And it is already set up for, well, I know how it needs to go. Just be patient here for a second. So what we're going to do is put this line tangent, or this is hard to do with one hand. I do not have a GoPro. So if I just press this, the button down on the bottom here, it is already pre-programmed for 90 degrees. Wait, where are we? Down here, 90 degrees. So when I push the button, there we go. And that's how we made these, and that's how we made all of these boxes. So it takes a little practice to figure out if you've got somebody's brand new machine and you don't know exactly how it's going to work. You notice in the back here, I've got 2 pieces that weren't quite right, and I just effectively create a little cheat sheet right here. My first go was starting 6 inches. That's the tail that we first are going to have. Plus, and I wanted an 8-inch box, so I tried 6 inches, put a bend at 14, then a bend at 22, another bend at 30, and then an extra 6 inches for the back tail. And I made that box, and it was too big. And I realized that because when you bend the steel, you get, because there's a radius and it's not a square corner, that you actually get about 1 inch back. So I tried a 5-inch lead in with 12, and each of those numbers are 7 inches apart as well. Well, it was just a little bit over 8, and I thought, well, why don't I get picky about it? And I tried the number on the bottom, and I also squared up the machine a little bit, meaning it was set up for 5/8 inch material. I set it back to half, and I realized that that was actually what needed to happen. So scratched out those 2. So this is my formula for an 8x8 box using number 4 bar. So as far as how do I figure out how tall these cages are? Well, I turned to my good old friend Excel, created a quick Excel spreadsheet, which effectively I input the hole depth, and I decide how much steel I want above. And then once the steel is bent over to a horizontal fashion, how much do I want to connect with? That gives me a 44 inches. So I add 44 inches to 26 and I get 70. And then why do I have a long piece? Well, if you notice at the bottom of these cages, they are 2 of them are folded over. That does a better job of holding everything together. And so that needs to be an extra 9 inches. So I realize it's a little bit too much detail and I'm in a hurry. If anybody has any questions, shoot me an email.